listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner, as you may have guessed by the sloppiness of our opening. And, God, and I wouldn't want to be quoting on that either. I'm with Zoe Lyons and Alan Cockerel this morning.
Morning.
Lovely to see Zoe.
Hiya.
And if you want to communicate with us in any way, you can't, because we're not live. I know what people say, but this morning we're not. But you can still tweet us on @Frank on the radio. You can still do that. You can still email via the Absolute Radio website, because they're free. I don't feel morally corrupted by you contacting us like that. But don't text us, because that would be just reckless. And there's enough of that in the modern world.
And if I suppose we should say, if you do tweet or email us, don't expect us to react, because it's not going to happen until next week.
I suppose I took that as read.
We'll react next week, maybe.
Yeah.
If it suits us.
No, if there's anything good, I mean, we'll keep it. I mean, we don't let anything slip by.
Not a thing.
All be vetted.
Jonathan Ross used to say of me, I was like the Chinese chef. Even the feet.
Everything goes in.
Every joke is at least tried once. I don't have any problem with that. How are you, Zoe? It's been a long time.
It's been a long, long time, Frank. I'm very, very well. I'm very well. I walked here today, and it was beautiful.
You walked here from Brighton?
From Brighton,
Goodness me.
I thought, well, it's better than taking Southern Rail, to be honest with you.
If you'd have called me, I would have sponsored you.
Swung by. I could have worn a high-vis vest with a number on and my name on it. Yeah.
I like the fact that we've got a sort of the rail service is a very good joke. It's like Ronnie Corbett's talking about British rail sandwiches.
Yeah.
It feels like a real strong tradition.
No, I didn't walk from Brighton. I walked from Victoria, which was it was really pleasant.
It's nice.
Beautiful.
Obviously, it's a different woman every night with you.
I know.
What did you say?
The parrots.
Oh, yes.
The London parrots. The first time I saw them, I thought I was going insane. It was in Richmond, and I looked across and I saw two green birds in a tree. I thought, well, that's it. Now is the beginning of the end.
Yes.
I'm starting to lose my marbles. But apparently, there's flocks of parrots in London.
They're everywhere.
I'm
woken up by them on a regular basis. I need to let them out. They're trapped in the skylight. No, I mean, it's sort of nice to be woken up by parrots, in that I feel like I'm in one of those Bacardi adverts that I used to look at back probably in the 70s. And these adverts were used, do you remember them, Al? They were used to epitomise the in crowd. There were people in linen suits drinking Bacardi on tropical islands.
They were often on jetties going out into the sea.
Jetties,
they were on a jetty.
They were on jetties before I knew what a jetty was.
Yeah.
I thought they were on some sort of boardwalk.
They were the jet setty style, weren't they? They
were the jetty set.
They were the jetty set. Yeah.
But they was very much set up as this, if things go well for you, this is what your life could be like. And things have gone great for me. My life is nothing like that, apart from the fact there are parrots. But I have a friend who often says to me that he feels celebrity has been wasted on me.
Oh.
Because I'm not, with leggy models and on a yacht or anything like that.
But you are wearing a fine jacket this morning with an exceptional lining in it that we've all admired.
Yeah, and I'm the plumage, can I say, on the bat? That plumage, sort of that's faux feather. I don't want anyone to think that a bird of paradise
It's a lovely green, though. I really like that plumage.
Thanks very much. Respect, Amanda.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
It's a beautiful day today, but today's not today. So don't text us, because we're doing this on another day. Does that make... I know, I feel I've dabbled with the...
very meta.
Yeah, what do they call it? The time-space continuum.
Sure have.
Yeah. It's all right. So we're not live, so don't text us. I mean, how many times have I got to tell you people? Mm-hmm. People are tuning in all the time, Zoe, I'm told.
Are they?
Yeah.
I always assumed that people would listen to this show from start to finish.
That's a big commitment.
I'm in brackets, hanging on my every word, close brackets. But in fact, people come in, they do 20 minutes, they do an hour. I think we get an hour and 20 minutes is the average listener.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when we get these emails describing this, they're not wanting you to tell people that.
No, they're not. Are we supposed to keep that quiet?
I don't know.
I'm told it's a fabulous average.
Yeah.
If there's any radio presenters listening, you're lucky if you're getting, minute and a half? So, so wipe that smirks off your face. What that smirks? I'm experimenting with the plurals and singles at the moment. I think they're too restrictive.
Smirks. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they're all over. I don't like being told what to do by grammar.
Good for you.
My wife's Dutch, and every now and again she gets the sort of plurals wrong. And the lovely one is hairs. I'm getting my hairs cut.
Excellent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she doesn't mean different. No, she means just on her hair.
I like it because it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm getting my hairs cut.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm going to start saying that.
I'm trying to be strict. I'm trying to be strict on all the Italian things. Like if you see a paparazzi in the street, you're actually seeing a paparazza.
Paparazza.
I think it's all paparazzo, but paparazzi is the plural. If you saw one thing written on a wall, that would be graffito, I think, not graffiti.
Graffito.
I want to be that person who says to people, well, actually, it's not graffiti because there's only one example of it. I think that's a good person to be when you get to a certain age. If there's any kids listening, you don't want to be that person. But I do. Speaking of kids, I got big laughs from the production team on this radio show. It doesn't happen that often when they're not being paid. And because at the end of last week's show, I said to Sarah, who's producing today, actually, it's a big day for her. I'm so proud. I feel like a parent at a swimming gala.
She has done this before, but if you draw more attention to it, it may seem bigger.
Yeah. Well, she has done it before, but on a pre-record, I think there's an extra pressure.
There sure is.
Yeah.
It's good for that to not go unnoticed.
But I said last week when she was in a job where I asked her to book me cars and things like that. She's not too big for that. She's she knows she's climbing at the moment.
Yeah.
And I said to her...
Well, the world does now, don't it? Yeah. You've said it on the radio.
I said to her, look, she's doing great. I said to her, could you book me a car, please? I said, please.
Good for
I've
you.
never lost that.
No.
Good for you.
I've never lost that, Zoe. I know what you're thinking.
Touch.
Yeah. And I said, could you book me a car? And she said, where to? And I said, the London Zoo. And she burst out laughing as if I'd said, like, the funniest thing anyone's ever... What's funny about that? You're laughing as well.
What were you doing at the zoo?
Well, I was doing that thing that I was looking at wild animals.
Oh, you were just genuinely going for it? Okay, right.
Why else do people go? People go
Zoe doesn't need to. She sees wild animals on her walks around London. So
yes.
It's already
I've saved myself the zoo entry fee.
Oh, that's true. Well, I always think that, you know those birds you get at the zoo who go into other cages and sort of live there? Mm-hmm. I think that zoos don't use that enough because it's a great advert for them. You know, people said those poor animals locked up. And you say, look at these sparrows, they've just moved in with the zebras. It's their choice. They're not really welcome there, but there they are.
They're squatting.
Yeah, that's how good it is.
That's how bad renting in London is now. The sparrows have to move in with the gorillas.
They would have been in trees, but now a lot of them are with their parents.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
And this is still Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Do I normally say that? About a time check. About travel. Should we do travel?
No, don't start doing time checks on pre-records.
No. Or travel,
to
be fair.
We'll have to do time travel, which will get too confusing.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah. So anyway, I was at the... you not go to the zoo? It's normal, isn't it?
I haven't been for a while. But I do enjoy a zoo.
Yeah.
I enjoy,
You're not anti, because I know you're a bit more right on than I am.
Yeah, but I mean...
You're the sort of person who might be outside saying something about McDonald's.
No, I don't object to the zoo. I mean,
some
of the animals are there for their, so that we can...
Some of them have apparently written in and asked
to be there.
Yeah.
Aquariums I find a bit weird.
Do you?
I went to an aquarium not so long ago.
I don't believe in astrology. No, you don't like aquarium? Well, I mean, they never give a sense of real freedom, fish.
There's no squatters there, is there? No squatting.
I've seen the odd dead sparrow floating on the surface.
The last time I went to an aquarium, I went to the cafe afterwards and they had a load of prawn sandwiches and that just felt wrong.
That does seem...
That just seemed really wrong.
don't
It was
get
like,
any
see the
prawns,
exhibits,
though.
then eat their cousins.
I've never been to anyone's house where they've got prawns in an aquarium.
You could, though.
You could.
You could have prawns
Why
in an
not?
aquarium.
I wouldn't mind
Mussels, you could have some molluscs on the
Yeah,
screen
they're
there.
not very entertaining, mussels. I wouldn't mind a seahorse. Mm-hmm. How big do they go?
They're very
8 feet.
Well,
8 feet.
8 feet.
about that big I
that's how
saw a
big they go.
seahorse, but
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
just
hands.
indicating with my fingers. on the
If you
radio.
got one 8 feet, considering where I live, proximity to if I was coming in here, if I could get it on a bus, say to Islington, I could ride it in along the Thames.
Yeah.
I don't know how close to the surface they'll go. They always look timid creatures, the seahorses.
There's not a lock near Camden. That might be a problem, mightn't it?
Almost, I think they're renowned for their patience, seahorses. They don't really go that big, do they?
No, I
No.
made it up. And
Okay.
even as soon as I said
We don't
8
know,
feet,
do we? That's one great thing about the deep.
Yeah.
How big are what gigantic seahorses?
Well, we don't know what's down there.
Well, I'm
Not
pretty
a
sure there's
clue.
not a 9-foot seahorse.
No, but pretty sure it's not how we do science in this world.
We need a more rigorous method, don't we?
We don't know what's there. Honestly, we know about as much about the bottom of the sea as we do about outer space. This is the great thing about a pre-record. No, I'm not going to get 9 texts telling me that's rubbish.
Yeah, we can say
the world
whatever
is. I
rubbish
can
we
say
want.
anything I like.
It's flat, apparently.
Yeah, but we don't know what's down there really.
Giant squid.
Yeah.
Every now and again, one of them washes up.
Well,
you
also,
have calamari for a
how many
week.
times
Go
have
on.
you seen one of those wrapped around a submarine? I mean, if it's a submarine, it's an absolute daily thing. It's like speed bumps, giant
I
squids.
guess.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's down there. So there could be an 8-foot seahorse. That's me just summing up for when people listen to this on the podcasts. In case they think, did I hear that right? But no, that's where we're going on it.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I tell you what I did have at the zoo is that thing of not being
Prawns.
able to find any animals.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
That is
were they
a-
hiding?
That is a feature, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
but I mean a lot of it. I suppose a Saturday,
Right.
they're very willful wildlife. Willful wildlife, that's what I call them.
Uh-huh.
And they seem to deliberately, the busier the zoo, the more they don't come out. I mean, I don't know what they've got. What
I
I
think they're
thought.
shy.
No, I think they're ungrateful. I mean, we've all known comedians like this. They don't realise if it wasn't for the punters, we'd be nowhere.
Right, yeah.
What did you particularly want to see?
Well, I like the big 5.
Yeah.
That's what I'm after. in
Mongoose,
particular.
meerkat, prawn.
No, we've had debates on this show what the big 5 are, but I think in a way, in the end, I decided we've all got our own big 5.
That's right.
I include the chimpanzee,
Right,
which isn't
yes.
normally included in the big 5. But the lion, the tiger, the hippopotamus, maybe. Is that random?
Wasn't the big 5 officially the ones that are hardest to kill or something? That
Look,
it's all a bit unsavoury.
it's kids
eventually,
listening.
Wasn't it? It was unsavoury. It went unsavoury last time.
I
and
find,
see no
I
reason
find
to
most of them
not
are quite
continue
savoury. Once go.
that. Bit of seasoning, everything's fine.
Yeah, I think you're not. What you need to do is look to your cookbook.
More gamey than savoury, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Gamey.
Yeah, that's what I'm after. I'm after the big ones. I know.
Chimpanzee. They don't have a chimpanzee at London Zoo, surely, do they?
No,
I don't
but
think I've ever been.
when you go past something that looks like very close to one of the big 5, but not quite the big 5,
Right.
and it's called something like the Madoopy. And you think, I don't know where they've got this. 'Cause it's more or less a water buffalo, and the water buffaloes are over there.
Right.
Don't feel that you have to. It's like if you've seen S Club 7, you're not desperate to see S Club Juniors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go to the source.
Yeah.
More cooking advice from Frank Skinner. So yeah, I'm less interested in those. I'm glad I don't mind them, but of course, if they come out, it's like trying to book a panel show. They'll come out, the lesser lights.
Yeah.
Whereas the big five, I mean, I don't know who's the panel show big five. Would you say? Zoe, you're a panel show regular.
Sean Locke.
Is he one of the big five?
Probably one of the big five.
I don't see him on that many.
Rob Beckett would be one
Rob
of the big
Beckett, is he on the big five? Oh yeah.
Big five.
Catherine Ryan would be big five.
Big five.
Yeah. If there was a panel show zoo, that's where they'd be. And then obviously I can't name anyone who would be in the cage of the.
Well, I'd be running around in my cage, full view. I'd be there, shameless.
Oh, come
spinning
on!
Plates.
Come on! I saw you as one of the sparrows in Catherine Ryan's cage. It's a joke. It's a joke. I thought what they could have. Have you ever done this thing when you've been driving out of a car park, and you think, hold on, I'm just driving into just metal stumps here. How can I possibly get my car out? And you put your ticket in, and they lower into the ground. Yes. And I've always been really impressed by that. Couldn't they do that with all the rocks and foliage? So it just goes into the ground, and it's complete flat land, and the animals have no hiding place.
Oh, be a bad day for the chameleon, that though, wouldn't it? just bared.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't have to be down all day. What you could do, you could have a rota at the zoo, and you could say that the foliage drop will be happening at the lion enclosure at 2. Mm-hmm. Currently, it's with the penguin. Well, the penguins don't hide so much, but
so instead of feeding time at the zoo, revealing time at the zoo.
Exactly.
It's revealing time at the zoo.
Oh, no, it sounds as if I've said it for comic effect, but if you stand back from it, it makes absolute sense, and it means that if the other animals want to go, and so they don't need shade for any more than half an hour. So half an hour photographs, look at that. Oh, that's disgusting. And then the things go back up again, and then you're off to the Akapi. If you park there, you might have found a place on the street. Oh, glory, glory, glory.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I've got a question for you, Zoe and Alan, not for you at home. Although you can email and tweet us an answer if you like, and we'll read it at our leisure. Mm-hmm. As they say, across the pond. Yeah. What effect would it have on the great world religions, and indeed on atheism as a belief, if it was discovered that the price that one paid for a live zebra on the open market, if you were buying one for a zoo, is exactly represented in barcode form by the stripes on it. So if you scanned a zebra and exactly the price it would go, what effect would that have on people's belief systems?
I think it'd have the biggest effect on atheism.
It would.
Really do. I don't think they could write that off as chance, could they?
But even the world's religions would think, why has God got involved in this? In zebra pricing.
All the other stuff is missed.
What's he trying to tell? Oh, yeah. There's terrible things happening in the world. He's got involved in the minutiae of stocking a zoo.
I wonder how the market is doing in zebra pricing.
I wonder what the papers would make of it, though, as well. It'd be dismissed, and then they'd try it with several other zebras, everyone coming up, absolutely to the penny.
Same price or by the kilo?
I know, I think there must be, like, the price specimens and the ones that are a bit
shabby.
I imagine what you're really after in a zebra is black and white. They get them are a bit brown and white.
Oh, yeah.
And they look. You don't want the variation.
No. You want
a strong stripe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Here I am speculating. I don't know what people look for in a zebra. They look at the teeth, I imagine, like with horses.
No.
The Okapi is almost one of the almost big fives.
What is the Okapi?
The Okapi is like a zebra who's only. Someone's come to the door when it was in bed, and it's just had time to put its trousers on.
Yes.
So it's got like stripy legs, and the rest is like a generic mule.
Forgive me for not knowing that, but you're the one that went to a zoo only 5 days ago or something.
Generic Mule. Do you know him? He plays for Arsenal. There ought to be a footballer called Generic Mule. Here's the thing I saw, though. I keep asking you guys, like, you know a lot about wildlife.
No, go on.
I imagine you do, Zoe, because you've travelled.
I have areas of interest.
Oh, dear. What are they?
Well, fish are my specialist subject.
Okay, I didn't.
You have a book in your toilet about
I've got
fish
2 now.
last time you were on the show.
I've got 2.
2 books
I've
about...
got 2. I've got fish of the Red Sea and
That's
fish of the
really
Caribbean.
specific.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very salty, isn't it? The
Red Sea's very salty.
So
That's why you often see fish with very, very red eyes. They're just like, God.
And also, if you caught one of those, you'd only need vinegar.
You'd only need the vinegar.
Oh, lovely.
Beautiful.
I mean, economically.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
a great
saving, isn't it?
You've got the fish of the Red Sea in your...
Yeah.
Respect that you own that book. The fact that you've deemed it to be what I'd call a toilet book.
It's a toilet book. It's a toilet book. Do you know why? You can enjoy it in snippets. I think I've talked about it before on the show.
You have?
I have.
Not
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
Not my snippets, but
No, yes. Again, you can enjoy it at your leisure. No, but I don't
I've
think...
got fish of the Caribbean now as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you've always had Red Sea.
I've always had the Red Sea.
See,
and
I
the
would have
Caribbean.
started Caribbean.
Mm.
I would have gone for fish first, the basic book, before I start getting geographical.
Yeah, I mean, the fish don't...
For a toilet book.
Yeah.
Too much, though, maybe. Too much. It's too all-encompassing.
I'm getting fish of the Indian Ocean next, anyway, that's where I'm going.
Fish of the Indian Ocean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, how many are there of these?
There's loads.
Well, oceans.
Fish.
That we can find out.
I've heard that there's plenty more.
Yes.
That's the word on the Strasser.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Yes, so one more. I know I've over-zooed the pudding in many ways, but there'll be zoologists. I believe they call themselves zoologists.
Do they?
Yeah.
That I never knew.
Yeah.
Zoologists.
Yeah. Or is that people that know a lot about you?
Yeah,
That's
Zoe.
me. That's people who've got a big file on me.
Have you done a show called Zoology?
Zoology? No, I'm open to...
Do
I'm
it?
open to, yeah.
It's crying
Yeah.
out for it.
Yeah.
You're available.
I'm available. I'm very much available for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no good me calling a show Zoology.
I'd like to wear that little outfit as well, the sort of shorts with the utility pockets. Be very happy.
Very
And
useful.
I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Well,
You know, like a
sort of-
safari kind of-
safari
Oh, I see.
short.
Why
Yeah.
don't you just wear the stripy leggings like the Okapi?
Oh, it's just stripy leggings and then a brown top. Like
Yeah,
a
just like a sort of fairly shabby brown jumper. Anyway, I went to the giraffe house, which I'm calling one of the big 5. Mm-hmm. I imagine they're quite easy to take down. But there was a giraffe in there, and this, like, you know, occasionally you see behaviour at the zoo and you think, oh, I'm not sure about this. It was licking a girder.
Scottish.
Right.
After some iron brew, wasn't it?
Well, it
It's
looked
a
like there's
Scottish
quite
giraffe.
a patch of paint had come off. It looked like it had removed a fair amount of paint from excessive licking.
You think so?
I'm guessing their tongues are coarse,
Yes.
the giraffe.
There'd be some form of abrasive surface on it, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And it was almost like the zoo, I don't know, maybe the sander had stopped working and they said, get Gregory over there.
Gregory the giraffe.
I'm guessing his name's Gregory. Get Gregory over there. Get a little bit of honey on it.
Oh, yeah.
Are they
And,
known for their DIY skills, giraffes?
no, but I mean, he didn't know. So it'd be used. He wouldn't know he was doing a good deed on the DIY front. He'd think,
They're just trying to
actually, these
please,
girders got one of those tongues as well. Really, I mean, look like it could have got caught up in the antennae.
Oh.
You know the sturdy antennae you get on a giraffe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
They're like the bubbles on a space hopper, aren't they?
They are.
Giraffe antennae.
And of course they've got I cannot look at a giraffe without going down memory lane to my childhood and thinking of crazy paving.
Oh, yeah.
That's very much their design. Mm-hmm. That was what constituted the craziness in the late 60s.
Fragmented pattern.
Was randomly sized pavements. This was before Charles Manson. He rewrote the whole theory.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cockerel and Zoe Lyons is with us today. Ah, lovely.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks for having
you
me.
can. It's always a pleasure. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. If you like, email the show via the Absolute Radio website. If you over mind to, but please don't text us. I'm just, not up for it today. Now we're recording this. It's yesterday. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Which I like. I like It's Yesterday as a concept.
Although there is a sense of jeopardy to a pre-record in these recent times, because we've covered on this show a number of times in recent months managerial changes, prime ministerial changes. It seems like nobody's in their job for very long these days, and I'm hesitant to even bring it up, but Big Sam has already gone.
No. Big Sam. 67 days, was it?
67 days.
Oh, Big Sam. Bambalam. Yes, he seems to have split opinion in that a lot of people are saying poor old Big Sam. Poor old Big Sam and his £1 million payoff. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I had an argument the other day with my partner, and we sort of sorted it out, but I still had like that stomachache I get when we argue, and I just think, oh God, why do we even exist?
Right.
And then I put a jacket on I hadn't worn for a while, and I found 10 quid in the top pocket.
No way. Love
and
that.
You would be surprised the way that lifted me up. I think, wow.
Brilliant.
So, from Big Sam's point of view, the £1 million payoff must have at least, filed some of the sharper edges.
It will have definitely eased some of that pain, won't it?
Yeah.
If he was in the job for 67 days and he got £1 million payoff, I've worked out that worked out at £15,000 a day he earned.
That is okay.
That's not bad, is it?
That is...
Well, normally I wouldn't get out of bed for that, but considering... No, I'll tell you something that I noticed, did you see those shots of him in the back of a car?
Yes.
Looking at his iPhone.
Yeah.
And he got a gold iPhone.
Brilliant.
Well, you can if you're on 15 grand a
I
day.
know, but you got to keep... once you've been sat, you got to keep that undercover for a day or two.
You should really have another sombre-toned phone.
Exactly.
Especially for the sacking day.
Yeah, exactly. You should have had one made out of Yorkshire slate. He should have, though. It was very hard to sympathise with it. It was very, and now I'm going to Dubai. That was the whole message.
Spotted those photos, because I think they may be the only photos that I've ever seen that have been used from those photographers just snapping at cars. You know, when the car's driving past and they go... I've never seen the result, because I think they're always rubbish. They're always a photo of like a bit of a car.
I don't think I've ever seen, circular window on the convicted criminal van.
Oh, yeah.
When they run behind those, I don't think I've ever seen the criminal inside looking, I imagine, gloomy.
But Big Sam, we get to see him in similar circumstances.
Yeah, looking like he's been perspiring quite a lot. No tie on. Already the standards have dropped.
Was he texting for a new job? Is that where would you go? Where did you go after that?
He's going abroad.
I'll tell you when he went abroad. I love the phrasing. What are you going to do now? I'm going abroad. And I don't think he was being cagey about where he was actually going. I think if he's not in England, he's abroad. That's where it is.
I think he meant abroad the way highwaymen used to be abroad. I think he's just going to roam England as some sort of threatening presence. You hear Big Sam going through your bins one night looking for scraps. Wouldn't it be great if he went completely feral?
If he went rogue?
Wearing just an England blazer and nothing else. That's the missing link.
There's enough ex-managers now to have like a herd of feral managers running around the streets of London at night.
He's the alpha manager.
He's the leader.
Very alpha.
Yeah. You could. Steve Bruce would be his right-hand man, I think, but Big Sam. Big Sam. You can imagine, like, that on Lion King, him on, like, a jutting piece of masonry, like, holding up, well, what should we say? 200 grand in a display case, and all the other managers sort of kneeling. That's my image of the week.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about, I think we left Big Sam on some jotting masonry.
He'd gone feral in your mind, hadn't he? There's a bit of me that thinks that he's coming away from this pretty well. Like, he got £1 million in 67 days is better than 3 million quid in a year, isn't it?
Isn't it 3.5 a year, the England manager
Was it?
gets? I believe that's what Roy Hodgson get.
All right. And
I'm also messing with
Get.
tenths
Yeah,
as well as
I'm
plurals
enjoying
and
it.
singles.
But also, I mean, I might be wrong here, I'm no football expert, but isn't he going to have the best victory statistics of any England manager
100%.
ever?
100% record.
They can't take that from him now, unless they reinstate him and he has a terrible run.
I mean, it was a terrible...
He's got £1 million.
He's won
and a
game.
100% victory record. It's great for him.
Is his one game going to be available on DVD as the Allardyce years? Because it's a really terrible game. I mean, it was awful.
With a fluke win at the end.
I mean... I don't want to watch any person's personal tragedy and gloat, but I did think that might be the best. Because it was such a terrible, terrible game. Anyway, as he says, entrapment is the winner.
Entrapment has won.
Yeah.
And
He'd make
Greed
a
was
good...
Greed was a very, very close second, wasn't it?
Yes.
I mean...
He'd make a good Oscar announcement bloke. And entrapment is the winner. Followed by intonement. No, he was... it wasn't. I mean, if I was the fake sheikh, I'd be thinking, well, they've nicked my act.
Yeah.
These people. Can you not? Is there no way you can copyright scamming?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's such a dodgy area, I suppose.
Why do they ever have meetings with any...
Far Eastern businessman.
Yeah, it seems like
Surely alarm bells. Yeah, exactly. Surely by now you'd have read enough
I
reports.
think the
about
thing
alarm
is,
bells should be ringing.
the thing is with the alarm bells is that moment where the donga actually hits the casing of the bell. There's quite a wad of cash which is sort of cushioning the impact.
right.
So you
Yeah.
can't hear the alarm bells
I
quite
see.
as loudly.
The shock absorber of cash.
I tell you what I haven't seen. The shock absorber of cash is. It's lovely. That I think that is a novel by Beryl Bainbridge.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the headline "Big Scam,"
Oh, that's a good point.
which is, I mean, what are they up to, these people? Again, this is the joy of the pre-record. If there has been one, nobody can correct me.
Nobody can tell
But
you.
I haven't. I've scoured the internet, and let's face it, it was filthy. It needed scouring.
It did.
And no one's done Big
No,
Scam. I
That's
think.
strange.
Yeah. It's a funny old world.
He slagged off Roy as well, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can... you would know better than this, because you're our political correctness
Right.
correspondent.
PC correspondent.
Yeah.
Are you fine with that?
I'm fine with that.
PC correspondent, wasn't he, in Morse?
I think so.
One of the lesser figures in Morse.
He mainly wrote to him, didn't he?
PC Jeff correspondent, his name was. He was I think he was Belgian parented. I think that people's verbal things, speech... Do they still call impediments? I don't know if they still call them that. I don't think you can do that anymore, can you? That's gone.
No, you can't.
No, I don't think so.
So,
Tell you what he did do. He may not have known it at the time that he was being sacked, but he has sent postcards to all of the squad that have arrived on Friday after being sacked on the
Has
Tuesday.
he?
So they've literally... I mean, we're pre-recording this, but they've arrived today. to all of-
postcard saying what?
saying, well done, we've done our first victory, and onwards kind of thing.
They've gone out.
Yeah, they went out. It's brilliant.
That's gonna. How
Well,
many
on
of they,
eBay, they'll be collectible.
Yeah,
It
look-
says they're really
Yeah.
collectible.
Look tonight, because the players will have them straight on eBay. Big Sam will probably put about 24 on it.
Oh, I
He'll
should
be
think
writing them
so.
today for
I
eBay.
should think so, yeah.
I bet he sells one to a Far Eastern.
He's got 2.5 million of his first year's salary to claw back, hasn't he?
I don't know, maybe we should be more sympathetic. I just can't find it.
No, there's nothing there to be
Don't think we
sympathetic
should.
about.
Simply can't find it.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I thought a strange part of the Big Sam story was his somewhat unfiltered description of the royal boys. The Prince Harry, he said it had been. He said he was a naughty boy, didn't he? He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah, showing his bum and stuff.
Yeah.
Bum and stuff.
It just felt like...
He's royal derriere.
Why are they reporting this? It really felt
know.
like... Were they short on a couple of
But
paragraphs?
they're leading in places, aren't they? They're saying, like, so, what do you think about...
Oh, is that what's happened?
Yeah, they're trying. I find
Entrapment as
if
one.
on the rare occasions I speak to Far Eastern businessmen,
Oh, that is one thing I do not like about you.
now,
I'm going to say it directly to your face.
well, I mean, if they come over to you, you know, on a train, you can't ignore them. Especially when they just give you a Rolex straight off.
You have to.
No, whenever I speak to businessmen of any kind, I always feel what they're looking for is a bit of behind the scenes. They love that. They love any
right.
sort of, what's that?
Anecdotes.
So what's that episode like? They love all that. And I guess they were giving him a bit of that. And you realise that it is currency. Because people love it, anything. Just to hear you talking about people in a sort of, in a laid-back fashion. I never give them a tiny morsel.
I can't imagine Sam's hanging out with the royals that frequently, where he's got to a point where he can casually go, you're a naughty boy.
He tried to hang out with them, but William didn't turn up for the...
Dissed him.
He said it'd have been nice if he'd turned up.
Well, I suppose he's busy.
Making him sound less like a prince and more like a dad of a goalie on a Sunday league team or something. It'd be nice if he'd shown up. Like.
But they were... I think the thing is, as well, with the sympathy, is that he's got an enormous face.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
So I suppose if that face looks sad, proportionately, he looks desolate. On a smaller face, what would look like a little bit of, there you go. On a face of that scale,
It's
it looks
bloodhound,
like
isn't it?
the world
Yeah.
has collapsed. Yeah.
Bloodhound sad. I tell you what I'm not enjoying is the frequent use of the phrase cash bung.
Bung.
You
Don't
don't
like
that?
it.
No.
Makes me wince every time I hear it on the news and say they've been accused of taking cash bungs. I'm like, don't like that.
You think it's
That's
some
not how I'd have taken it.
new form? Well, you know, if you're abroad and you're coming back through customs, maybe it's your only choice.
That's the only way.
Yeah, it's the sort of antithesis of money laundering.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it needs laundering, definitely. Maybe you could go in what we used to call a washerette.
Nice.
That's the word I'd forgotten all about. That's what I love about this show. It's my mind is like a well. I just throw down the bucket and who knows? Sometimes it's just slime, but sometimes it's that thing I threw in 1968.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio, Alan Cockerel. Zoe Lyons is with us
Hey.
this morning. You will have noticed.
Hello.
You would have
Hello.
noticed that by now.
Hello.
Always a joy. So, come on, Zoe, what's in your world?
You're really struggling to talk about something other than yourself or Big Sam there. That sounded like... Oh, come on,
then.
let's get the niceties
Yeah.
out of the way with.
What have you got to say?
Let's get a bit of balance. Get a female voice into the forefront.
PC, Constable PC. I'm feeling very relaxed and very happy at the moment, actually.
Okay, let's talk about football again.
I've just come back from a 2-week holiday, not bragging.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're always, every time you're on it,
Yeah.
you've been away.
I know.
What a life
I
you
know,
lead.
what a crazy
You're
life I
like
live.
Princess Eugenie.
Very, very much like her. Yes.
Peas in a pod.
Yeah, peas in a
you
pod.
two.
You put us beside each other and you're like, which
She
one
went
of
on, did
those?
she go on holiday with, one of them went on holiday with Jimmy Carr. Eugenie or Beatrice.
I think that might be
Really?
right, yeah.
Okay.
It's happened to comedy.
Is that where you were?
I wasn't with Jimmy Carr, Eugenie, or the
Okay.
other one. No, I went to. When I go on holiday, I like to be as far.
I met
removed-
Eugenie. She offered me 3 wishes. Oh, dear.
What is her name?
Eugenie is her
Is
name.
Eugenie? Is it Eugenie?
It is, yeah. I know, it's Huge Genie. It
Huge
is. She was
Genie.
named after the Aladdin
That's
character.
when you say it, Eugenie, it doesn't. That's one of those words that when you say it repeatedly, it just loses all of its meaning. And Eugenie.
Yeah, like the
Eugenie,
famous
Eugenie.
jazz clarinetist Acker Bilk. If you keep saying Acker Bilk, you think this can't possibly be a name,
Right
can it?
name. No. Anyhow, I like to travel as far away from other British people as I possibly can. when
Oh,
I go on
don't say
holiday.
that,
I do.
racist.
I do. No,
You're
I am.
supposed to be our PC correspondent.
Well, even PC correspondents every now and again
Need a break.
need a break from it
what
all.
about, can I tell you, I was in Euro Disney, or actually it's called Disneyland Paris now, and I was at one of their very lovely restaurants, seriously, and there was a British family, well, English family there. I don't want to drag them all in. And they said, no, we just want chips. We just want 6 plates of chips and not anything else. It was really brilliant. This is in France.
In
But they were,
France.
"Oh, what?
Pomme allumette. You want the pomme allumette? I remember being in a very posh restaurant in London once, and
Do you?
I do.
When
Once.
you weren't on
When
holiday.
I wasn't on holiday. I was eating in a posh restaurant.
What a life.
And I'd
Yeah.
ordered steak with chips. I thought I had anyway, and the waiter came up and he went, "There's your steak and your pomme allumette." I went, "No, mate, no, didn't order the allumettes. Ordered chips, mate." And he went, "Those are the chips, madam. They're pomme allumette.
At least he
Like a
handled it.
match. A potato match."
I ordered
Oh,
steak,
right.
steak tartare well done. I ordered. In case you don't know, as I didn't, it's just a pile of raw steak. It looks like
Did you not know?
roadkill. I didn't know that. It's my first ever posh restaurant.
That's my favourite dish, steak tartare.
Oh.
With a raw egg on top.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Red meat sushi. Hello.
Do you think it
No.
would be a very, very subtle way of dumping someone if you bought them steak tartare?
Yeah, too subtle, maybe.
Tartare. What if they didn't get it, though? When you fired them up with raw meat, they'd tear you apart.
That's the trouble.
Taste of flesh in their mouth.
So where did you go?
I went to Curacao, which
No,
is
hold
in,
on a minute.
yeah.
No, don't know.
Let's have a guess, at least. Kurosawa is in the...
Curacao.
Kurosawa was in Japan, I know.
No, I wasn't there.
No.
No.
Ecuador? Is it somewhere like that?
No.
Don't
no,
text
that's
us,
sort
buddy. You
of-
better tell us
No.
or someone will
Okay.
text in.
Definitely
It's the
don't.
Dutch Antilles. It's just
What?
above Venezuela. Yeah.
Another 3 things I don't know. I know what Dutch means. Antilles, I honestly thought were big shrimps.
It's a string of islands.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I only met one other British person while I was away.
I like the fact that it's a string of islands.
Well, there's 3
Do they
of them.
call them that?
I don't know whether you call them
Sounds
strings of
like, I
islands.
imagine them hanging from the
Sounds like somebody
from the
could purchase
bottom of
one.
a big goldfish. What is that?
It's a string of islands.
No, that thing that hangs from a goldfish. It looks like blind. It's got blinds in him.
A goldfish shoelace.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think we've perhaps gone too far
Gone
on
too
what
far on
things
that one.
hanging out of
Yeah.
goldfishes. Thank God there's no texting this week.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were just finding out about the Antilles, Dutch Antilles.
Dutch Antilles. Dutch Antilles.
No idea.
Yeah.
Where-
3 islands. They're just above Venezuela. It's very nice. It's full of Dutch people.
Where's Venezuela near?
It's Venezuela's near.
We can eventually work our way to a bit
the
of
top
the
of
world
South
that we're in.
America. The top
Oh,
of
okay.
South America.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
The
yeah.
top
Isn't
of
that
South
North America?
No, that's North America.
I think it would be, wouldn't you, logically?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was diving. That's what I do.
Oh, cool.
See, and this is
Yeah.
why I've got the fish book in the toilet.
Love a bit of diving.
But
Love a bit of
So what body of water is that you were diving in there?
Caribbean Sea.
So that's why you've bought the Caribbean Sea book.
Yeah.
So these books, are they waterproof?
They are. They have a slight plastic.
Resiny.
cover. Yeah, they're slightly
Nice.
laminated.
So you can take them under?
It would be a bit. Yeah, but I mean that would really be going too far if you would.
Yeah, it's not Snap.
Yeah.
But I thought you might press them the way they used to leaves.
Collect them like a stamp book.
Yeah,
Go
No,
on.
but that's frustrating, isn't it? Because you're down there and you see one.
Yeah.
I suppose you just have to... do you
I
have
remember
camera and things?
I've got a camera. Yeah.
Underwater camera?
Yeah, I've got an underwater camera.
That's...
It's amazing what they can do now, isn't it?
It is, I have
they
to
have been able
say,
to do that for
I
years.
heard myself saying then underwater camera with awe, and I thought people at home will be thinking, yeah, they do it. You must have heard of those
Yeah.
before.
That has
They've
been around a
for
while.
a bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You think it'd get into the film?
No, yes, you would, wouldn't you? You would, but it's in an airtight little box.
So if you're there for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
how often would you dive?
Every second day? Sometimes twice, 2-3 days in a row, and then take a day off. And
Do you get if you dove? If that is the past tense.
Dived.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
go. Yeah. If you dived every day,
Yeah.
would stuff start happening to your body that you wouldn't like?
No, you're all right. No, sometimes your ears get a bit sore, but other than that, you're fine.
Your ears get sore.
Yeah, because of the water pressure.
How do they pull you out, these sailors?
they pull you
Not
out?
by the ears.
Not by the ears, no. Because of the pressure on your ears. So it gets
Oh, okay. Have you
I have done a little...
divin?
I have
Divin.
done a little divin.
Have you really?
Divining, yeah.
It's my idea of absolute hell.
Why?
Well, because I don't go in the deep end at the swimming pool. So
Yeah.
the idea of being underwater,
Yeah.
and
You do have to have a swimming minimum.
Yeah.
yeah, what if you sneezed?
You can sneeze, you can cough, you can even throw up underwater. I've discovered this.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't done it personally, but I know
So where
people who
does that
have.
go? Does it go
well,
into your
just
mask?
through the regulator. And you can do it, yeah. Yeah.
That's good to know.
It's good to know, though, just in case
It
you
is.
ever get a bit seasick underwater, I suppose.
Yeah.
You can't get seasick underwater,
You can get
you?
a bit gippy. You can get a bit gippy with
Underwater
the
you can
current.
get that?
Yeah. I love it when it gets a bit choppy underwater and you can see the fish even going, oh,
Well, they tell you, don't they?
Rough today.
If you get a bit seasick, look at the
places in-
horizon.
Oh, right.
Which
Look
is
at
a bit,
the
it's a bit
horizon.
difficult when you're under.
underwater.
Yeah, that is true. Have you done a drift dive?
I've
Have
done
you
a
done
drift-
that?
I've done
oh,
that,
they're
that's fun.
race.
Yeah.
What is that?
Like, you're in a current, so you sort of just see
Float.
stuff going past. You
Yeah.
can sit cross-legged and just bomb past.
8-foot seahorse.
8-foot seahorse. You can ride an
Duck.
8-foot seahorse.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
sitting cross-legged with a laminated book, just going tick,
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 8-foot
tick.
seahorse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen it all.
Yeah.
Because it's no good closing the toilet door after the
The
8-foot
seahorse.
seahorse. I find.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We left, having left previously in the show, Big Sam Allardyce on some jutting masonry, displaying money to other unemployed managers. We now, I think the last time we saw you, you were drifting underwater.
Drifting underwater
Why not,
quite happily.
Bowie?
I tell you why I love it so much, Frank, because nobody can talk to you.
Oh, that sounds good.
It is good, you know.
Don't they have
I hadn't
underwater
even thought of that.
notepads? That's what I've seen on
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you've got anything, you've really got to get off your chest. But no, you're supposed to stay really close to your body in case anything happens. My body's using my wife, and I can still hear a hand signalling nagging behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I just ignore her.
And
It's
can you
just lovely.
can you see her hair swirling in the water?
Swirling in the water. She desperately tries to get my attention.
Of course, she
Tell
must
me-
love it in the Dutch Antilles because they're all
Dutch.
they're all Dutch.
They're all Dutch.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's all Dutch. But it made me think, I thought, while I was there, because when you're on a holiday like that, because it was a bit rough around the edges, it was lovely, you know, you just wear a pair of flip-flops, a pair of shorts, same T-shirt every day, pretty much. You just,
Different rules
2
apply on
weeks.
holiday.
Yeah.
Same T-shirt for 2 weeks.
Different
Well,
rules
you know,
apply
give it a
on
quick
holiday.
rinse out. I thought,
I suppose if
That'd be
you're
quite-
diving in it.
you're fine. It's washing
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
So I could be quite happy doing this.
No, not
I wonder-
forever.
I
though.
don't know, though. I think I could be.
Really?
Well, I've rarely been on a 2-week holiday in the last 10 years, I would say. I generally do a week. And I don't, even when I've had the best time ever, there's always a fair part of me thinking, oh, I'd be happy to get back on my own toilet. not just my own toilet, but basically those things which one is familiar with
Yeah.
the next year.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good...
Traveller?
I always know I like it when I'm out there.
Yeah.
But as the song says, you know, it's nice to go travelling, but it's oh so nice to come home. And I couldn't live the flip-flop life,
You couldn't.
even with my legs.
You've
which
got
I've been
good
told are
legs.
fantastic.
It's the sand would put me off. I don't really love sand.
Don't you?
No, I like being in the water, but I don't like sand. If they could concrete
How
a
do you
beach,
get to
I'd
the
be quite-
water? What you need is a
Exactly.
cable car from the
Or a
from
jetty.
the promenade.
Yeah, I
You
think
need your
that's-
Bacardi rum jetty.
I think
That's
I
what you
do,
need.
yeah.
Why don't
yeah.
they have cable cars from the promenade? Or what would be better would be a zip wire, so you don't have to touch the beach at all. Just come down off and straight in, splash.
We're getting one in Brighton.
Big slide.
Oh yeah, zip wire.
We're getting a zip wire. Yeah,
That
not
sounds
into
good.
the sea. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Just sort of
Yeah.
along
I suppose the
front.
problem is getting out of the sea
He's
on a
getting
zip
out
wire.
of the sea. That is the.
You're gonna have
it's
to
a
get-
sort of one-way journey. That
You're
isn't
going to have
it?
to wiggle as far up as you can.
Yeah.
Like, remember the man from Atlantis used to do that swimming style? Like, it was a bit like when people do that caterpillar dance thing.
Yeah.
Body popping. Yeah.
And then you'd have to get as far as you can and hoping the wind would get behind you and you'd steadily creak back up the zip wire. No. There is going to be a zip wire in Brighton.
Going to be a zip wire in Brighton to counter the I-360 that we've got in Brighton now. The viewing tower.
Yeah.
Been open for 2 months and broken down 3 times.
Yeah, well,
Oh, has
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had
it's
money
the,
on it.
it's the
so,
big Sam of
Breaking
tourist
news.
attractions. Yes, I had some people got stock in it.
They got stuck for 2 hours. There's no loo on it. There's a bar, but there's no loo. And I
dear.
think at about the hour and a half mark, sort of tensions were rising, and somebody produced a bucket from behind the bar, and apparently nobody needed to use the bucket, but that would have been
Yeah, okay.
yeah. And the thing was, it was only annoyingly 35 feet off the ground, so it was quite
Oh,
close
that's
to the
annoying.
ground. So it looked like,
Could have
the
just
ground
done
was
it.
in sight.
Oh.
But if you had to go in a bucket, most people passing on a double-decker bus would have seen you do it. So it's just really
But, you
degrading all round.
these are teething problems. I'm all for it. I like an observation tower, generally.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I prefer that to going under water.
Yeah.
I suppose ideally what you want is one on a swivel. So you go in it, you get fabulous views of Brighton, then it spins round, you see some 8-foot seahorses, and then it comes back up. Still dripping. Imagine it dripping as it comes out.
That sounds
You get
good.
back to the top, fabulous views, down you go again.
The number of good inventions you come up
I
with,
know.
just thinking off the top of your head. It really is
What it needs
a
is...
sight to behold.
It needs a sort of Richard Branson figure listening to this show on a regular basis. And he
you're
could just rake these in. I wouldn't make a halfpenny.
I don't imagine he listens to this show now.
What, from Necker Island? See, he's a bloke.
He's got his own, hasn't
He's
he?
done your thing.
Yeah.
I love... One of my happiest things is sitting with my back against a tree.
There you go.
There's something that happens when I do that. It makes me feel genuinely blissed. And they do a lot of that on a desert island, do they?
Yeah.
So I'd be all right with that. It would be when having to eat the bark off it that would get on my nerves.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cockerel and Zoe Lyons is with us this morning. I should have got a jingle that roared.
Yeah, that would be
Roaring.
nice.
And then I could have done the cockerel, and then the lion. And that
Cockerel
would be-
and Lion.
Next time.
We're like a coat of arms, aren't we?
Animal
Yeah,
based
we are.
show.
And maybe I could get the sound effect of a griffin
Yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah.
complete the heraldic.
The Frank Skinner
the
coat of
heraldic
arms.
big three.
Usually at the top of hours, you tell them stuff, don't you?
Yes, yes.
gonna do
Okay,
that?
thanks for that prompt.
Sorry to-
You can tweet us on @Frank on the Radio. Or email us via the Absolute Radio website, but don't text us this morning, please, because we're not here.
I didn't feel good about reminding you there.
No,
as soon as
I'm
I
happy.
did it, I felt bad.
I'm happy. I'm glad you reminded me. Thank you.
It's all right.
So
Pleasure.
we're pre-recording this.
That's right.
For us, and I don't want to really confuse you, but for us it's Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So don't text us because obviously there are complications there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just take a moment to think about that.
I think I've cleared it up.
I'll tell you what's a good story. I like it a lot. Is there's a story in the news. You know the news, capital
the
T,
news.
capital N, about a about a school.
I hate the news.
Yeah, I quite often hate it.
I hate world news.
Oh yeah,
World news is the most dull thing.
capital W, capital N. Boring.
When you're on holiday and you can only get like world news. Oh, who cares about that?
Well, I suppose this does come under world news category, but it's interesting world news. There's a school in America, Baltimore, that has replaced detention with meditation. The kids go off and they have a little think, and not like a naughty step. They go to, I think they call it a mindful moment room. That's what they must say. I bet they say stuff like, "Okay, Travis, it's time for you to go in the mindful moment room."
And they say, "What you talking about, Willis?" Do they still say that in America?
Yeah, Willis is the teacher. Mr. Willis to you.
Yeah.
That's what he
No,
said.
imagine Willis is probably one of the girls' first names.
Oh, yeah.
Willis Benedict, that cute blonde. You know Willis? Willis was there with Taylor and Jackson. It's all surnames. What's going on?
Anyway, they say that apparently, since the start of last year, the primary school has not suspended a single pupil. How many pupils are this primary school suspending that this is newsworthy?
Well, I like it. To make this story really good, it's good to picture it as a tough inner-city school that has been zenned out by meditation. That's the story. This is what I do with the news. I use it as a springboard.
And you fill in the rest
then
of it
I
to
take
make it
it
slightly better.
Exactly.
That's a good
Colour
way of
in the
looking at
blanks.
it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can be a dull string of facts, the news. Who needs that? So that's what I'm imagining. Kids that would have gone wrong have been saved by
They have.
meditation.
They
It's
go off
not an
and they
easy
have a-
thing to meditate, though.
No.
It's really, I mean, it sounds like an easy thing to do, just sort of sit down and clear your mind.
What?
And even my mind that isn't that really occupied most of the time, it's difficult to clear it. It is, it's hard not to think of anything. Mostly I go towards what I'm going to have for tea. Like, I'll try and clear it and sort of be all zen-like and in the moment, and then it's like, chicken or pork.
My advice is meditate after tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that's that part of your thought.
But then I'm on to breakfast. I'm already
that's
thinking.
ridiculous.
this
I mean, it's
breakfast-
actually going across the 24-hour barrier. There's no hope.
David Lynch is very into transcendental meditation.
TM,
Yeah.
as they call it.
David Lynch is a well-known filmmaker. Just helping out. My job.
Thanks
And
to
if you've ever
subtitles
seen
for
any
the
of
show.
his movies, you think, well, he does need to clear that mind out every now and then.
No, I love his movies. I'm guessing you do too.
I once tuned into Eraserhead is one of them, isn't
You
it?
tuned into it.
Well, I tuned in.
You're
Stumbled
I
across.
came home a little
You're in
new-
meditation and you're using a satellite dish as part of it.
I was using a fork and a piece of aluminium foil, and I managed to
Congratulations,
tune
I
into
found that. I
David
can't make
Lynch's
that work.
Eraserhead.
It is. I mean, it's terrifying. If anyone's listening,
Absolutely terrifying.
don't watch it with the kids.
No, don't watch it after a few sherries, as I
When
did.
they take the wrapping off the baby,
Hello.
I mean that. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I have to say, on the meditation front, I was schooled in it by ACAS. You know ACAS, that organisation?
ACAS.
ACAS.
What, the,
Conciliation Service.
Oh, really?
And the Ombudsman did like a course on it.
Are these the people that go into industrial tribunals and
Yeah.
stuff like that? ACAS. Them. All right.
Hold on.
No, that can't be right.
No, that's mediation. sorry, everyone. No, I've
It was a joke all along. He's good, isn't he? He got me.
I know there'll be people. I got a better one coming up.
Oh, okay, good.
You ready? Shall I do it now?
Do it.
Why not? Chuck it in.
Do you think the kids call it home time?
That is a joke.
That's a joke. That's like a proper joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a typo. It's a bit like a typo. as
Yeah.
well. Very good.
I wasn't sure how far to take that home, because you don't want to go too far away from home time. So you don't want to go, do the kids call it home, or people have forgot where you're coming from.
Absolutely.
Little workshop there for any young comics. I know a lot of young comics listen to this show to steal material. So I think there will be people listening to this, people, and again working with my plurals thing, thinking, rubbish. Because I think it's very easy, isn't it, to think mindfulness is those people you see with a yoga mat under their arm. You live in Brighton,
I live in
Zoe.
Brighton,
I mean,
everybody's
come
got
on,
a yoga
they're
mat.
everywhere.
I've got 2 yoga mats. I don't even go to yoga, and I've got 2 yoga mats.
One under each arm.
One under each arm, double yoga mat.
That's
Particularly
marvellous.
difficult position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The double yoga mat.
Eugenie, of course, she goes, but she has a flying carpet
Very nice.
instead. But I have done meditation,
Have you?
and it absolutely. I mean, I don't like to have serious moments, but it solved all my ills.
Oh, that's
I think it changed my life. It took, to be honest, a great deal of pain out of my life. What
That's
about that?
great.
Okay.
See, I
I
think...
know, older, that was medication.
Oh, he's got us again. He's got us again. They just keep coming with this guy.
No, I have done meditation. I think it's brilliant, and there's no joke this time.
Right.
I honestly do. I think people at home who are being sniffy.
Yeah.
I mean, there might not be anyone being sniffy.
No,
but,
they might not. They might be into it. People are, it's coming more and more of a thing, isn't it? People are really like, oh yeah, let's get in touch with our
Well,
brains.
it's just taking time out to stop, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
But
You
I
live in a big
learned to
city.
do it. I learned, you said that thing about, I can sort of stop thinking completely for several minutes now.
I thought
Really?
it wasn't
Just
that
what
you
is
were
it
meant
that-
to stop thinking. It was just that if you did catch your mind wandering, you spotted it and kind of brought it back to the
that's
middle.
good, but
I thought that was
ideally, you don't have any thoughts at all.
Yeah, see, I feel like I haven't ever really started thinking, so I might be a natural
No, but come
mindfulness
now.
guy. I think I might be quite...
But you never stop thinking, do you, normally? What they use, I think, for me, it's a bit like the old IT thing. If it's not working, you switch it off and you switch it back on again.
Right,
So you do that, you just stop thinking completely, so there's nothing.
right.
And when you first do it, it's a bit scary, because you think, what if I can't put this back on again? Then I'll be a gibbering fool for the rest of my life.
Computer will be broken forever.
Yeah, if you just
don't want
never
that.
get it back. But then you see loads of people seem to manage.
Yeah. Without being fully booted.
Exactly, they're everywhere. So I relaxed into it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I should say I'm using the Lorax this morning, which is the new system that we've got here at Absolute
Are you?
Radio. And the very first link we did, a thing came up saying, too long. I mean, I have never been so insulted. So yes, so I once spent a week at a sort of meditation centre.
Did you? A whole week?
I think... Was that for a television programme?
It was
I think
for
I
a
saw
television
that show.
programme,
I
yeah,
think
but I did get heavily into it.
You were into it? That's good.
It follows the teachings of the Shrivnash Bhagwan. He's called Osho.
Right.
He's known as
Yeah.
Osho for short. And their theory is that you can't, because the Western world is so busy, you need to sort of exhaust yourself before you meditate, so you can't do anything other than just sit.
And how do you exhaust yourself?
There are many exercises. One of them was a sort of shouting exercise.
Right.
And what you have to do, as a group, there's about 12 of us, and we've been together for a while.
Did you not get this from West Brom?
Yeah, yeah, but this is a two-way street. The players rarely call back.
Okay.
They're too regimented. So you walk up to people and you scream. I mean, I can't exactly replicate it because it's very, very loud and there's quite a lot of swearing in it. But you say stuff about them that winds you up.
Oh, wow.
Really loud. I mean, I'll try and do a...
Hang on, so you walk up to people who are in the group with you,
Yeah.
and then you shout at them stuff that
So
really...
people would come over and say to me, honestly, they would say to me stuff, just because you're famous, you think you're so fantastic, you know, you just come in, you're arrogant and blah, blah, and you think you're going to use us as just idiots on your show. And they'd shout that a foot from my face, scream. It was like being one of Brad Pitt's children. I mean, really, but I'd be shouting back at them, I don't be so pathetic, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And we'd be doing this simultaneously. And we'd do that for, I suppose, the whole... Then when you'd spent that bit of rage, you go across to the next person, maybe shout about their jumper for 3.5 minutes.
Right.
And at the end of it, the idea is it's all out. And then
Right.
you sit and you do some meditation.
And you can get zen.
Wow, well, isn't that slightly awkward once you've called somebody a name that you can't repeat on the
you're not
radio?
supposed to, it's sort of what happens in Edinburgh stays in Edinburgh.
Right.
What happens during the shouting exercise stays in the shouting exercise.
I wouldn't
part
be
of the
zen enough
process.
to let that go.
No, there are
Yeah.
people did say that
Yeah.
thing about, and I said no, I didn't really mean that bit. And then
Yeah.
there's just an uneasiness.
After the meditation, there'd be a serious conversation. I'd be like,
but we had lots of serious conversations. It was great.
But you were pro the meditation in the school. You think that's a good thing?
Definitely. The
I'm
picture
not
that accompanies it, just that as a little kid in a vest, just sitting.
He's doing that fingers thing.
One
that you get.
of them's doing the fingers thing. One of them
Oh,
is just
right.
sitting. He just looks the way kids have got that natural straight back. Like
Yeah.
my 4-year-old, when he touches his toe, he does yoga at school.
Oh, cool.
And he'll touch his toes, and it's the most, I think, I can't touch my toes. If I could, it wouldn't look like that. 'Cause if I did touch my toes, there would be a sense of real effort going on.
Also,
A
they
sense-
should get them while they're young because they've got the kind of flexibility to put their feet on their hips in the cross-legged.
all that
It's
stuff.
perfect timing, really, thinking about it.
You've got to get them very young in this country because they get to about 12, and what with the national obesity crisis, the
Yeah.
chance of them crossing their legs at all is almost
Impossible.
zero.
Yeah.
You might be able to put the two legs side by side, but even then,
You can't separate them.
they're
They're always side by side,
They've
those
more or
two
less
legs.
become one leg. I mean, we're breeding a nation of mermaids and mermen. Which will be, of course, you'll have a book about them soon in your
yeah,
toilet.
that'd be my toilet book.
the kids of Britain.
Yeah. It's a lesser spotted giant floater.
Yes. Again, their diet isn't right as well, as you say.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I like this idea that there's soft places and calm places in an infant school. It's all very nice, but I just worry...
Soft places centre.
That's what they have. They have these, like, little, it's all comfortable and there's purple and all that. And it's nice enough, but...
When someone says, and there's purple and all that in a northern accent, it sounds very derogatory, doesn't it?
a bit sour.
Soft. I love the word soft places.
My worry, I'll be absolutely frank, is that where are the bullies going to go? We're not... There's no
There'll be
place
no
for
bullies.
them. There's no place for them anymore.
There'll be no bullies.
I suppose they might not be at school. They'd be absentees, wouldn't they?
No,
So I
the
suppose
bullies
it's
will look
fine.
into their inner selves and see that bullying is a hostile and unpleasant thing that only brings sadness to them, ultimately.
Or alternative, they'll look into a room full of weedy kids with their eyes shut and think, brilliant, it's like shooting fish in a barrel in here, isn't it?
Well, this is why
be perfect.
the learned people of the Orient thought, if we're going to have meditation, we're going to have to combine it with being able to kill people with your bare hands.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's why those two seemingly contradictory attitudes run side by side
The yin and the yang.
in the Far
Very
East.
true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Then, of
Kill
course,
somebody
you've got...
with your bare hands and then sit down and have a long, hard think about it.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the local businessmen in the Far East are too busy dangling money over the English managements.
Yes, indeed.
Managements, I quite like.
Easy for you to say.
Managements.
Manigmas.
There's other children not behaving how they're supposed to news this week. Prince George,
Which one is he?
Prince George. He's William's eldest because the other
Yes.
one's a child
I
of
notice he's William's eldest, sexist.
William. Well, Prince William.
Come on, Zoe, you're our PC correspondent.
Kate and William's eldest.
Yeah.
I was speaking about the royal family, and she is.
Be very careful what you say next.
She's there by marriage.
I
Let's
bet
not lie.
she can cross her legs easily.
Yes, she looks lithe, doesn't she? Nimble. Anyway, he did not give a high five to the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He left him hanging. Justin Trudeau did that thing of crouching down, which I always think is... When adults do that, they've read that in a manual, haven't they, like how to approach
But you have to
children.
get down
like,
to
you
eye
can
level
Get down
with
to eye
children.
level. I just think,
with children and Jack Russells.
why don't you just grunt at them from your own height? That's the Yorkshire way. Like that's how people in the north of England.
Yes.
But Trudeau
don't make any concessions.
I like Alan's adopted the tennis umpire approach to talking to children.
Trudeau is the coolest man on the planet.
Yeah.
now,
Take
isn't
that
he?
back.
I mean,
He got left hanging though, didn't he?
he does yoga moves on his own desk.
Does
That's
he?
how cool he is.
Does he
Yeah.
actually?
He does. He's got
is that
there's a
fact
picture of
about
him doing a very difficult yoga stance on his own desk.
No way.
Yes, because he's that cool.
Why is he doing it on his desk?
Just because he can. Just
Why
because
not?
he can, and he's the Canadian Prime Minister.
What
and
yoga
he's-
stance? I want to know
It's
the
like
details.
that one where you just like hold yourself up with your. It's like these full weights on. It's not a handstand as
Is
such.
he
but
standing
it's-
on a piece of blotting paper? You know, when you have to press it down till you get there. I've never seen that picture.
Google it. It exists. 'Cause
Is
he's
he in yoga outfit?
No, he's in his shirt and tie, but
He's in
rolled up
that?
sleeves, obviously,
Good for
because
him.
he's Trudeau, and he's got a casual approach to work. He'll fit in a bit of policy making with a bit of.
It's part of this American. I know he's Canadian, obviously, but it's part of this American thing of standing up when you work, isn't it? The standing desk.
standing meetings. And
Yeah.
that's what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. 30-second stand.
I mean, I stand at work, and you do.
I
'cause
stand
we're-
at work.
We're stand-ups,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah,
part of
I've
the
had
thing,
standing meetings
Yeah.
before. Mainly when I used to drink on street corners. But I can see the plus of it, especially on the money saved on chairs. And you never see, when you see, like, drunkards on waste ground, they've never got chairs. They always have to make do and mend.
Or an old sofa.
Well, they sometimes have an old sofa.
Love that.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Is it still a high five if you're on your knees?
I think it depends on hand up. If you go
Oh, that's
hand,
still a high five?
Yeah, if you go hand pointing downwards, I think it's a low five, which he also offered him, and which Prince George also rejected. And then he went for the formal handshake, and apparently the prince just shook his head, like, it's not happening.
It's not happening, mate.
I like they did that thing. All the headlines. I don't know. This is obviously what the Palace has officially put out. Every newspaper said that I saw. Oh, he was tired. He'd just been on a thing. They did that. Oh, he's just showing off because he's tired. They did. Everyone. They were obviously told. You can't criticise Prince George for being haughty.
No.
So you'll have to say he's tired. You can't say that he sensed hostility about the whole idea of the Commonwealth and refused to join in.
Yeah.
So we had to, no one ever says. No one said of Sam Allardyce. Oh, come on, he was tired.
He was just
tired.
He was hungry. And he made some rash
He did look hungry.
He did look a bit hungry.
What if they'd said he was tired and just got away with it? Why should Prince George... See, we talk about the way the class barriers are broken down. The fact is, if you're Sam Allardyce, you're guilty. If you're Prince George, you're tired. Yeah.
Someone had to say it, Frank.
I know.
Well done.
Quite right.
I don't
Maybe
always
he's
like
just
it when
so
you get
used to
outspoken.
shaking hands already, George, that, when he was offered the high five, he just thought, no. I'm
that is
3
it.
years old and I've been shaking hands for a good 18 months
Yeah,
now.
but he wouldn't even do the handshake. I suppose by then they'd used up their...
he'd ruined it with a high five attempt. He'd gone down market.
He's not impressed by thingy Trudeau. What's his first name? I keep want to call him...
Justin.
I want to call him Pierre, but that was his...
No.
That was his dad, was it?
I think it might have been. Does Prince George have a good chance of being king then, or is William going to be king and then someone else will be king?
No, William will be king and then Prince George will be...
So he's probably going to be king. Do you think he knows that already? Do you think?
Well, one of the nannies. You know what nannies are like?
He's
They'd have
probably
told
got an
him.
8-foot seahorse rocking horse, hasn't he?
Do you think it
George?
affects his
he's probably-
play? Do you think?
I tell you what, you just imagine that if you were a teacher at his school, you could set up the whole school play thing. So he gets to sing I Just Can't Wait to Be King.
That would be great.
Oh, man, irresistible stuff.
And like most kids, presumably when they play with a sword, they pretend to knight people, but he would actually be practicing for his life. That's amazing. Isn't
So when Trudeau knelt down, that's probably what he was thinking. Hold on, where's me cutlass? He's amazing. He's got to sing. He's just got to sing. I just can't wait to be king. He's got to sing that. around the house. You wouldn't be able to resist it, would you?
Well, he'd have heard it a lot from his
I
granddad.
used to
as
really
well.
at night when I first when in my glory days when I first took off
Oh
my
yeah.
career. I used to annoy old friends. I used to go, when will I be... Oh, I already have. They hated me for it. Hated me.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Can I tell you a child-based anecdote?
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
your
I know.
anecdote for us. It's like
I know people...
There's O'Connor or something.
Yeah. My son Buzz, he's 4, Zoe.
Right.
And he had an eye test at school this week. And when they do anything like that, they want to recreate it at home, I find.
Right.
Is this generally true, Alan? You know more about parenthood than I do.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, he came back and with his rudimentary letter writing abilities, he did an eye chart on a bit of paper and sellotaped it to the wall, and I had to have my eyes tested. So obviously I was quite close, so I could read them all right. He never asked me if I had my lenses in or anything.
Yeah.
But because his letters are a bit abstract, that was the test. I didn't mention that this
right.
was... So I'm going, it's ah, and he'd say yes, and we did that. And then Kath did, and he says, right, we'll do the next line now. So she went, okay, I, and he went, yes. We have to say ah. So you go, ah, and he go, yeah, that's right. Yes, so she's going well. And then she says, is that ah? And he goes, no. She says, no. Duh, is it a duh? No. I can't tell. What is it? It's a balloon. Now, to be fair, he never said they were all letters.
Yes.
I mean, that was never...
Yeah.
That was never part of the deal. We just assumed.
Excellent.
So what sort of glasses did you prescribe?
Contact lenses.
Yeah, exactly. We never got that far.
She's in agony.
Varifocals.
Yes. I feel I should make... You know, I must have told you this, Al, but I may not have told you, Zoe, about my worst ever greeting experience. I met Arnold Schwarzenegger at the film premiere.
Yeah.
And I had to introduce him with a couple of gags, and then he came on stage. And this was quite a while back, before he was a politician or anything like that. So he was in his prime. And the low five was still in its infancy. I'd never seen a low five before in my life. So Arnie came on and said, very funny guy, thank you. And he put his hand out for a low five. And I didn't know what it was. So I leaned over to my left and shook his hand sideways. And he said, it's a low five. And he just looked to the crowd and they all laughed. They were on Arnie's side and I was disgraced.
Left holding Arnie's massive muscular hand.
His massive muscular hand, with his... But I still looked better in a suit than he did.
True.
He looked like they'd dressed some sort of ape. Or some sort of promotional thing. Like the Victorians are always dressing. Wildlife. Oh, we started with wildlife and here we are again. As T.S. Eliot said, in my end is my beginning. So, thank you so much for listening this morning. Zoe, it's always great to have you on the show.
Thanks
for it. It's always great to have you on, Al, but
Thanks.
I think you take that note as a given. Whereas at London Zoo, we take it as a gibbon. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Steak tartare.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.